I recently got this question from a viewer and I love it because so many of my clients have said the exact same thing. Why do I feel anxious when I see empty spaces or have an empty space in my home? Now, if you have ever decluttered something and immediately felt the urge to fill it back up again, this video is for you. So I want to start this video off with a question. Do you have any empty shelves in your home? Like actually empty, where there's nothing on it. Not kind of empty, not there's just a couple of things. I mean, nothing, not completely clear. I also want you to look around your kitchen cabinets and ask yourself, do I have any kitchen cabinets that are empty? Or shelves inside of my kitchen cabinets that are empty? Do I have any bathroom drawers that are empty? Any bedroom closet shelves that are empty? Do you have any open space? Think about it. Most people don't. Most people have something on every possible surface and in every possible space in their home. Now, today's video is a challenge and it's deceptively simple, actually. So I call it the empty shelf experiment. This week, I want you to pick just one space, a kitchen cabinet, a bathroom drawer, a section of your closet, whatever it is, pick it and then declutter enough of that space, whatever. If it's a kitchen cabinet, declutter enough in the entire kitchen cabinet so you can rearrange the stuff and have one empty shelf. Do this again so that you have one empty space and keep that area completely empty. Don't reorganize everything so you're like, oh, I've got enough space, so I've got this empty shelf. Well, now I'm just going to reorganize this whole shelf so that every shelf has something on it. No. Declutter it enough so that you can rearrange the things so that you have an empty shelf, okay? Keeping it empty. Now, this is where it gets interesting. When you leave it empty, no baskets, no replacement items, just empty space, notice how this makes you feel. So many people share with me that empty space feels or can feel very triggering for them. Often it stirs up feelings of lack, of guilt, of waste, and also kind of like this weird pressure to like fill it with something. Like you can't just have an empty cabinet or you can't have an empty drawer. It just feels, I'm not going to fill in that word for you. I've shared a couple, lack, guilt, waste, or kind of this weird pressure. But often we associate these empty spaces with spaces in our life, often transitions. So if somebody has passed away or if you've had a breakup or a divorce, and there all of a sudden the once filled drawer is now empty, or that once filled closet is now half empty and half full. So these things can be very triggering, but just notice what this brings up for you. Notice what comes up and allow yourself to just be in that space of noticing, because here's the truth. Empty space is powerful space. It's like a quiet declaration that you have enough and that you're not ruled by stuff. And that if you're willing to sit in the possibility instead of the clutter, you can really see what kind of emerges. So I want you to, again, declutter a space, have that empty space, and sit with it. Notice it. And you know, one of the things that I often talk about here on this channel is emotional clutter, mental clutter, spiritual clutter, stuff like that. So pay attention to, does this bring up when someone passed away or when someone left or when you moved into a space and you only had enough clothes to fill up like half of the closet or half of the drawers or half of something? What did that feel for you? If it was a initiated transition, like, you know, moving someplace, if it was not an initiated transition, like a death or a divorce, Notice what comes up. Get out your journal and just start to do a brain dump about it. Start to just say, this empty shelf makes me feel, and then fill in the blanks. Or when I look at this empty shelf or this empty cabinet or this empty drawer, these are the emotions that are coming up. And again, sometimes these can be a little triggering. Sometimes these can be a little bit scary, but we don't know what we don't know, you know? And something as simple as an empty shelf or an empty drawer or an empty cabinet can give you insight into these little tiny nuances in our life that we might be missing because of the things that we have in our physical space. So when these emotions come up and you see these empty spaces in your home, give yourself permission to just notice. Just notice what it is. Notice what's coming up. In my video from Tuesday about when I shared with you that drawing that I did in college where you just notice what is, if you haven't listened to that, go back, watch it. That may help you with any emotions that might come up that feel a little bit like, oh shit, now what? Okay. And also share with me in the comments, you know, if you do this experiment or when you do this experiment, what comes up for you when you see an empty shelf, when you see an empty drawer, when you see that empty cabinet? And allow yourself, again, to just notice what comes up, get curious about it. And when you journal, it doesn't have to be like a whole therapy session. You're just like, this shelf is triggering scarcity in me, or it's triggering fear or sadness or whatever. And then say, okay, what else? What else? And just keep asking yourself, what else is coming up and why? And like, what does this symbolize for me? And really give yourself permission to just kind of dig deep, because again, we don't know what we don't know. And until you give yourself the opportunity to make that blank space, you don't know what that might trigger. Now, for some of you, it triggers absolutely nothing. I've had clients that love the empty space and they're like, yes, this is amazing. And they love it. They absolutely love it. So I'm not saying that this is always going to trigger, you know, feelings of whatever. It might trigger a feeling of joy and happiness and freedom, like, oh my gosh, yes, I finally have a blank space. So allow yourself to experiment. See what happens when you have an empty space in your home. And again, share with me in the comments, if you do or when you do this experiment, what does that blank or empty shelf bring up for you? I would love to find out. I would love to know. Also, if you've loved this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you know every single time an episode is released. And for more support and resources, click the links below.